we got this podcast. It's got the word Asian in it twice. Obviously, like we want to like collect like-minded people. We also talk about non-Asian things, but I feel sometimes when we like lean in too hard on the Asian thing, we get some people who don't understand what we're doing, and they are offended because they don't get it. So here's an example, right? Like it comes down to the questions: Are Asian audiences like, are they ready for comedy in this way that the mainstream does it? So our friends at SJ and Woody, they released this new podcast called Emotional Slut. They posted, like, they launched this podcast. They posted it on what was it, Mike? ACN, Asian Creative
and
Network.
And
what is ACN?
ACN is just it's a really big Facebook group where like creative Asian people can like kind of cross post about their various projects. It's like a clearinghouse for all sorts of like Asian creative projects. Yeah.
Right. So they posted their podcast and they put their little description, which I'll read. This is they say, "Welcome to Emotional Slut, the podcast where comedians Woody Fu and SJ Sun divulge their latest emotional and sexual outbursts. Speaking on behalf of all 4.5 billion Asians, they chat/scream about sex, racism, their adorbs, frustrating immigrant parents, and so forth." So that's their little thing. And then they got a comment that was like, "I don't think two people can speak on behalf of 4.5 billion Asian people. That sounds a little bit presumptuous to me and perpetrates stereotyping." So we've gotten shit like that before, and it's I feel like I personally have like a love-hate relationship with like, and I'm generalizing here, the Asian audience in America. It's because like I feel like I want to relate, and if they relate, it's super rewarding. But when I get comments like this, it's like, what are you even fucking talking? Like, do you know what comedy is? Like, I can't explain to you what comedy and laughing is. You know, like if you don't, and sometimes like, I mean, this is like this might be a ridiculous thing, but I feel like a lot of Asian people grow up and they don't laugh. I don't know. Maybe comedy's not like a big part of their life. You know, I know a lot of people who are,
there's no such thing as sarcasm in Japan. Right?
No, there is no. Yeah,
so like that's all of the comedy we just did right now. This whole if you translated this podcast into Japanese, it's just two people seriously talking about how Wong Fu is a mob. You know, like there is no people are like, "Oh my god, this is a documentary."
It feels super high stakes, you know, sometimes with Asian jokes or Asians in comedy, because everybody's like, "Well, we cannot be the butt of the joke." Okay, that's fine. Like I get that, you know, we don't want to be that because we've been that for a long time, and like I totally feel that sensitivity for sure, but like you know, it can be so easily like it's like we're on like a tightrope, and it's just like, okay, well, we were almost the butt of the joke of that joke, so maybe it was the butt of the joke, so now that's bad. You know, it's like, oh god, well, I thought I was trying to subvert that, but okay, you know. So it does sometimes feel like there's such a, you know, if we just had like way more stuff out there, right, like it'd be fine. Like I think people wouldn't be like, well, that joke you just said is now 25% of all jokes, so
exactly.
We're fucked, you know. So
I have to say that you know, between you, Fumi, and myself, this is about 40% of the Asian comedy
not even
scene.
Joking. I'm not
right
joking.
Right here. This is it. Then there's Ali Wong, and there's Jenny Yang, and for some reason Keanu is also a part of it. So you know that's it. That's all the Asian people.
Yeah, I mean, good company.
Yeah. So like Fumi isn't part of that ACN group anymore because of his love-hate relationship. That's a mistake. I think it's a mistake to leave that group because that comment that we were just talking about, it got like 19 thumbs up, right? Like blah blah blah, right?
Nice.
But then right below it is another comment that like this guy was like, "Oh, that was clearly a joke. No one can represent 4.5 billion people. I think they're trying to be funny, and this is like a thing." That got 33 thumbs up.
Oh, my research shows that they are telling a joke.
But 30 to 20 is like pretty close, man.
No, it's not. Well, here's the thing is that like it used to be that, I agree with you, it used to be you step out of line a little bit, people are going to shit on you and like, you know, oh, you're misrepresenting the way Asian Americans are and you're making this about the joke. Now it's not like as clear cut, and I think there's people who are like, oh, there's more and more people who are interested in seeing another perspective. And, hey, Ali Wong was a huge star, had a huge Netflix special. There's like more and more Asian comedians out there, and there's more Asian content out there. And I think it isn't as like people aren't as going to be there's going to be that knee-jerk reaction, but there's still going to be people now who are going to be like, hey, you know, give him a shot or give this person a chance. And you're going to have a little bit more counterbalance, I think. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, we would not even be here. We would not be at episode 150. We'd have gotten to episode 2, and then Reddit would have shit in our mouths, and that's it. You know what I'm saying?
That's how podcasts end.